Hello everyone, creator of Cards for Humankind here. As you can see, I have some cards laid out on the table here. The intention of this video is to show you how to set up the game and to get you started playing. So the game is still in development. We have the artwork done. We have basically all of the finalizations done, but we're making minor tweaks here and there. So I'm going to show you the cards that we have, what will come in the box, and how to get started. So you are only going to choose one of the two level decks, and then you are going to choose all of the mini game cards that you have here. What you're going to do is very simple. You are just going to take the mini game cards and you're going to shuffle them very well inside of one another. We're just going to try to mix it up as best as we can. For the purposes of this video, I'm not going to mix it up so much. And then you have our functional cards. Now these are very special to Cards for Humankind. It's kind of what makes the game unique, aside from the mini game cards as well. There are many games on the market where they have questions or prompts on cards that bring people together through those, but those tend to just focus on sharing deep things, and there's not really a game portion to it. So in Cards for Humankind, we have a game portion, and I'll get to that in a second. So we're going to lay our functional cards down. We have our support cards here. We're going to just start by placing them face down on this side. We have our single appreciation card, and that's going to be face up. The reason that there's only one appreciation card is because everyone should get into the habit of using this card, and it doesn't need to be attributed to any one person because everyone will be using it. And then we have our share cards also face up. Now there's one share card per person, up to a maximum of 5 people playing the game. And then we have our follow-up cards, which we're also going to place face down. So I'm just going to move this deck over just a little bit so that it's over either one of the cards, either the appreciation card or the share card, as those will have no extra decks associated with them. So as we move forward, we'll go as if we're playing the game. So the first player will pull the top card, and then they simply read the question or prompt out loud. This one says, talk about a friend or one player who always adds excitement to events. So after they read it out loud, they can think, and then they give an answer. So let's say that someone is struggling trying to give one of the answers. That's why we have the functional cards laid out here. The functional cards gives us opportunities to help our fellow players to respond to these questions. The support cards in particular allow us to give aid when someone is or has trouble answering one of the questions. Maybe it's something that they're unfamiliar with. Maybe it's a deep emotion that they have trouble connecting with or expressing. Or maybe it could be that they're second language learners of the English language and they need help to understand what the intention of the card is. So the support card gives you a creative way to help them proceed. Let's show one by example. This one says baby steps. So this card allows a player to break the topic down into smaller bites by asking up to 3 helpful questions. So the player that chooses that card to help the drawer is going to now provide them with 3 questions to help break that longer question down or that prompt down into easier steps. So first you can say, who is a friend that you find funny? And then they will give an answer. Darren is a friend I find funny. And then you can ask them, okay, so why do you think Darren is so funny? And then they can answer to this question, and then you provide one more, and you could ask them something like, where was the last place that you had fun with Darren? And then that allows them to fully encompass and fully get across the ideas that they need to fully realize this prompt. So as you can see, once the support card is done, we're just going to place it face up there above it. And we're going to do the same with follow-up cards. So let's say that we draw a card, the next player draws a card, and it says select one player, now share a gift idea that you think would benefit them. Now, let's say that I decided to say I'm going to give this player a anime style t-shirt. Now, that's all that I want to say at the time. So if another player feels like there's more to the story, for example, they want to know why I'm choosing this kind of gift, then they can pull a follow-up card. This as well gives you a creative way to help them give more information. This one says, furthermore, explain your feelings about it for 60 seconds. So then they'll have 60 seconds where they have to explain why they're giving an anime t-shirt. So this helps us to get a more fully realized response from the player. Now, let's move on to two of the most important functional cards, and those are the appreciation card as well as the share cards. The share card is quite special because it allows you to take on the same question or prompt that a different player is answering. So let's say that you really wanted to share your idea of what gift you would want to give one of the players. Well, then you would just need to take the share card, put it into your play area, and after the person has gone, you will automatically give your response as well. So you have the opportunity now to answer the question. Now, the thing with the share card is it cannot be used every single time. What happens after you put this into your play area is it now becomes inactive for 2 rounds. And 2 rounds just means 2 people have to respond to a prompt or a question after you. And then you can place this back in the share pile. And as I mentioned before, there's 1 card for each player. Now, let's move on to the appreciation card. The appreciation card is one that I hope that everyone starts to use naturally and gradually as they move up the levels of the game, as they play more, as they meet new people. And aside from when they're playing the game, I hope that people learn that communication is based on listening, responding, but also giving feedback. And that's where the appreciation card comes in handy. After a person gives a response, you just choose one of these appreciation actions to do. The first one is finger snaps. So someone says something, gives a good gift idea, and you just snap your fingers, let them know, yeah, we know that he loves anime, so that was a great gift idea. Or you can clap it out. Maybe someone gave such a profound response that it's worthy of a clap. The third one is just praise. So you can give verbal praise like, oh, good job. Thank you for sharing that. The fourth one is an air high five, very casual. Give an air high five, maybe feeling a little excited, but you're sitting across the table from one another. So that one would be very appropriate. And then the fifth one is my favorite because it's very exaggerated. This is the roar of approval. Something like, yeah, you go, boy. So these are just 5 different ways that you can show appreciation for everyone that is playing and show them that you are listening to them. They are being heard. This all sounds so very technical when I'm explaining it, but I promise you, when you are playing, it's just going to go very smoothly, and you won't even really be thinking about the conversations because you'll be too involved in them. So let's actually pull a minigame card. So the minigame cards are also unique to Cards for Humankind because this is where the gamification actually comes into play. Yes, the game is still a competitive game. I always say you win by playing, but still, there are people out there with such a high competitive edge that I had to make it a game that you can actually win. How do you win Cards for Humankind? Well, you simply win by collecting the most minigame cards. Each minigame card has a game on it with every instruction that you need to play the game. Unfortunately, I'm keeping these minigames a little bit secret until the game drops, but I will continue to explain what happens. When you pull a minigame card, that's the opportunity for everyone that is playing to participate. Ooh, had a little snafu there. So everyone is going to participate in the mini games. And Once you pull the minigame card, it's a level playing field because everyone that is playing at the time has the equal opportunity to win. So it doesn't matter who draws the minigame card. And that's how the competition is born. So once you see that minigame card come up, you better get ready because that's when the competition is on. The reason that I really love this aspect is because some of the cards are going to be light, but then some of them may get a bit heavier, especially as you move up to the different levels. So the mini games really break it up. It's not just going to be a conversation the whole time, although that's really nice as well. But there's going to be games involved. Some of them are going to be familiar to you, some of them are going to be completely out there, but all of them are going to be very fun. The mini games are meant to be a quick way to bring everyone back together so that everyone is bonding, everyone is having fun, and the game is moving forward quite nicely. Now, one thing I would like to mention is that this game is so very versatile. As you can see, just what we're playing alone is made up of 3 different decks: the functional cards, the minigame cards, and then the colored leveled deck. Now, what that means is, let's say that you're on a road trip. You can just as well take out the minigame cards and only use the prompts. So, as you're on a road trip, everyone's answering questions, bonding on the road. You could do the same thing with the mini games, although the driver would have to be very safe doing this. But you can also do this with the mini games. Sometimes kids are bored in the car, then you can use the mini games and have them do something exciting and fun together. The functional cards are also optional. However, as the creator, I implore you to please start by using the functional cards. Although I wanted to make a very fun game, and that it is, the functional cards bring an aspect of it that allows you to realize what you're really good at when you're communicating with others. How do you open doors for communication? And how far will you go to let someone know that you are listening to them? So I really adore these cards. I value the whole game as a set. And I hope that this sounds very interesting to you and something that you would want to bring around the family, bring around friends, because this game has been played all around the world. People from everywhere has had their hands on this game, and the reason that's very important to me is because I've been an international teacher for over a decade, and it was very important that even second language learners are able to play this game. I want it to be simple enough that all walks of life can understand it, but complex in its structure so that it can be easy to play and learn from without actually thinking about it. And that's the key. Well, I hope you like this little run through, and I hope that everyone will soon have this card game in their homes, at their workplaces, and in schools as well. Thank you very much for listening.